Okay, so I last night finished watching Heated Rivalry. Started and finished. Binge watched, one might say, Heated Rivalry, which I had no intention of watching that show. Not even no intention. I'd heard of it, but I didn't know much about it, honestly. And then something was just like, watch it. And then within the first episode, I was like hooked, right? But one interesting thing that I want to chime in on or point out, focus on, is Kip's character, right? There's so much to talk about the show, and I just again finished it at like 1 o'clock in the morning, right? But what I really like about Kip's character is that you get to see him, you get to see someone like him, men who are attracted to men, with a loving father. And for so long, I've really wondered what that looked like. Not just a father who accepts, not just a father who was like, no, you can do whatever you want, but one who truly loved him. And you saw the way his father was with him. He cared about him. I think he called him his little boy at one point. If he showed any sign of distress, his dad's like, what's going on? You can do anything. You got this. He was encouraging. He was loving. He was supportive. He would always say, I love you first. And then, there was one time when he said, I love you, and Kip didn't. What did Kip say? You too. And he goes, you too. And he's like, I love you too. And he was like, oh, okay. That was really hard for you to say. It was adorable. It was adorable. And I'm sure there are other instances, in film and cinema of this. I just don't recall any. So I just want to say that I'm really grateful to see this example. Because my whole life I always wondered what that looked like. To have a father who, like, for a man who's attracted to men, who really, really loves, supports, and cherishes that son. And I'm so grateful for Kip. I mean, among many other things, I really liked Kip. He had a great enthusiasm. He was willing to go for a ride, but he also had boundaries to a degree. Once at the end of that episode, he was pretty much like, bruh, I'm going home. This is crazy. Like, I can't be doing this. Like, I love you, but like, right? And he gave a lot before that. And I can't think of his boyfriend's name, but the hockey player guy, he had a great heart and meant well, and you could tell. But anyway, that boundary that he had eventually, I think, encouraged the hockey player to do what he did at the end of the season, at the end of the show. And whew, that was such a pivotal moment. Anyway, that's what I think about Kip.